What is up? Welcome back to Uncle Rico's Storytime. I realized my last podcast has jacked up audio, so this is a Rico rewind. I bought a Filmora membership in February for like $80, something like that. It was a perpetual lifetime membership. Apparently, it was only good for their that one particular version of software. Oh, that lifetime membership was only good for Filmora version 13. You need to upgrade. Upgrade? So I had to delete version 14 and re-upload version 13, and then just every time I guess I log in and ask me to update, I just say no, because I'm a stubborn fucker. And if I bought your lifetime membership, I'm not paying another goddamn cent to you. So 2 podcasts ago I had a watermark all over my thing, and then this last one my audio was all jacked up. So I'm good to go. We have re-downloaded version 13. I've tested it, which is always good. I do apologize. I never watch these things after I record them. I just shoot them out, which I should probably stop doing, but I don't even have time to make thumbnails, much less watch this crap. I'm surprised you guys do. But I do appreciate it. And I appreciate all the comments, and that helps me keep engaged, which is always good. So recapping what happened in the last podcast, episode 32, which is Travis Jervey, by the way. Same old crap. There was one very important thing that I did want to mention right off the bat is the community back home in Wisconsin, Holman High School, the La Crosse area, really Wisconsin, Minnesota, all over. Lost a very good man, former history teacher and wrestling coach, Dave Rudrud, passed away unfortunately, and he was just a huge help to me growing up, grappling with my father passing, and then also being a little son of a bitch. There weren't a lot of teachers who had my back or understood where I was coming from, and Mr. Rudrud always had time for me, and would always talk, really no matter what he was doing. I had issues where I would pop my head into his classroom if I got, was in trouble, got kicked out of class or whatever, and he would stop class and come out and talk to me. But he started a huge wrestling tournament by state, and I don't know if he started it. I'm pretty sure he started it. He was single-handedly responsible for vaulting this tournament into just a really prestigious, huge thing. Small town like Holman, but we had guys competing for state championships. Our team was a powerhouse under him, and he was just an all-around great dude. And I was lucky enough to tell him how much he meant to me before he passed. So I appreciate that.
and he used to we would engage, me and him would start engaging in discussions, and it would end up taking all class long. So when we would have like tests or something like that, I would always pick up the paper in the morning and read uh, current events. So we would go into class if I wasn't ready for it, or if one of my classmates wanted me to tank it, he would like be passing out the tests and everything, and I'd go. Hey, Mr. Reuter, before we get going on the tests, what do you think about that whole Croatia thing? Is that like just insane or what? And then we would end up going for like 40 minutes or 45 minutes, and then he'd be like, oh, well, I guess we don't have time for the test then, we'll do it tomorrow or whatever. But um, he was just a really great dude, and he's going to be missed by many. He'll be missed by me. But really, besides that, the rest of episode 32 was garbage. I was pretty much a recap of the mess that I have up on the mountain. I won't get into the backstory. I dedicated a lot of that to that. I tried to watch some of the episode, and then I was like, screw this, man. But there were 16 views, and it looked like 42 minutes out of it. So for you guys that made it through some of that, kudos. So after that webcast, let's see, I had a backhoe up on the mountain. My Titan was up on the mountain. I bought a Pathfinder that had some minor issues, so I sank some tires into it right away. It turned out that there were 4-inch spacers on the tires. So once I put the full tread tires on the Pathfinder, it ripped the shit out of my wheel hub undercarriage. So we got that squared away. I brought the starting issue. I thought it would crank over a while before it would turn. It would crank a while before it turned over. I thought it was just a low battery. Went to pull the battery out, and it was a stationary positive terminal, which was a pain in the ass. And I could see that the cap wasn't sitting on the battery terminal, so I replaced that with a cable and a new battery, even though the old battery was at 12.6. Didn't fix the issue, so I brought it into my mechanic. He tried a bunch of stuff, replaced a starter relay, and everything was good. Went to the gym, and then got out of there, and it would not, same thing, it would crank, be a while, good 20 seconds before it turned over, 5 to 10 seconds before it would turn over. And so I went to go get gas because I was empty. Once I gassed it up, I kept smelling gas, and since I just gassed it up, I figured it was just a leak or whatever. But the next day, today, I smelled it again, so I brought it in the mechanic, and he did not bring it into the mechanic at that point. It popped a service, and he couldn't find any codes. So it finally popped a code after I filled it up. So that made me think that the smell of gas wasn't from a leak. And then I went and read the code, and it was an evap error. So now I'm thinking some hose or something. I'm not sure, but that's not the it's It's definitely not the worst case scenario. So we're okay there. Unfortunately, the seat pushes my head like all the way up to. What's up, chicas? Oh my God, he's so fucking cute. My co-star. What's up, my mans? What's up, my mans? I love you, dude. So some kind of evap thing, but the seat in these goddamn Nissans, there's like 6 inches because it's a motorized seat. There's like 6 inches of motor down there, and my head, it's not this bad in the Titan, but in the Pathfinder, my fucking head is all the way to the roof. So I'm like looking down through the windshield. I'm like looking all the way through the tinted part. I can't even see stoplights. So if I get this fixed on the Pathfinder and I keep the Pathfinder, which is vehicle number 8 of the year, I'm going to have to rip that motor out and cut the brackets down and re-weld it or something. But I might sell it. I might turn around and resell it. I got a lead on a rundown Crown Vic, which is on this little fest ground dump area. It has this Halloween thing all the time. So I may be able to get that for super cheap. I'm trying to get in there, but it's all blocked off when they are not doing the Halloween stuff. So I'm hoping after Halloween I can get in there and use a fleet key to start it up, or a locksmith or something. Either way, if it starts up, I'm going to pay this dude some cash, and that'll be my daily. Then I will sell the Pathfinder and keep the Titan. But either way, once I knew that it was an evap thing, everything is running super heavy gas. I decided to drive it up to the mountain. Drove it up there, checked on the backhoe. Chloe is fine. There was another load of wood on a trailer right below my backhoe, so it looks like somebody couldn't get a load up that hill also. I switched the Pathfinder for the Titan and started to drive down the hill. Everything was fine. As soon as I got on an incline, I almost got up to the precipice top, the top of the hill, and started to get super hot. So I pulled over, and I realized that I was driving in 4 high the whole time. So I took it out of 4-wheel drive, which didn't give me hope. Knowing I was in 4-wheel drive, I feel like I should have made it up that hill easier. But I popped it in 2-wheel and let it cool down for a little bit, and it made it the rest of the 10 feet, which was pretty impressive, and made it pretty easy. And that made me think about when it broke down. It was doing fine in 2-wheel drive. So now I feel like I have it isolated. I feel like there is a problem with my 4-wheel drive. So I put it in 2-wheel drive. I got up the top of the hill. I started down it. I start driving all the way back from my mountain to my home, which is a good hour. I stopped to take a look at this Crown Vic. I can't look at it because it was all barricaded off. Start up. I start driving again. About 5 minutes later, it overheats. So I pull over. I let it cool off. I open it up. It's bone dry, which made sense because it almost overheated trying to get up the hill. So I fill it back up with water, not coolant again, because at this point I've got to have a leak or something. So I drive home, I fill it up with water, drive home, check the level, I'm low again. I fill it up again, I've got it with water. That night I went to the gym, came back, it was low again. So I called up the dealership just now, and not just now, but a couple hours ago. I was like, hey, what's up, da-da-da. He's like, I'll fix it, don't worry about it, come on in. He's going to give me a loaner so I can go try to check out that Crown Vic again. But Things are good. I have the Pathfinder up on the mountain still, along with Chloe, but I did start the backhoe up. She started right back up. I've got a big thing of diesel. I've got a backup battery. So the plan is tomorrow morning, drop the Titan off at the dealership right away. If they can bang that out early enough, then I'm going to run up to the mountain and try to get my backhoe home with a buddy. If they can't get to it, then I'll do it bright and early tomorrow. But either way, things are good. I was able to, throughout all this mayhem, I was able to start some of my projects, get a little bit of work done on those, which was good. But it feels like got through we got through the shit. I was about to set off to do, what the hell was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna drive to the dealership originally before I realized that it was overheating. Before I realized that I had a leak, and no, was I in the Pathfinder? I don't even know. But I get a notification from UPS that they're delivering. I bought a golf driver. I can only hit this one certain golf driver, but I hit it like a monster. I hit it like 300, 310, and it's all carry. It's a 10-degree Callaway FTI. It's a big square thing. It looks like a freaking 2x4 when I swing the thing. But I just crank it. I've got an abbreviated swing, kind of like a slap shot, where I don't go all the way back, and it's very fast forward to minimize my mistakes. But for some reason, this club just freaking launches it. And I worked at a private golf club, or public. Either way, it was a golf course in Minnesota, and where I got to hit all these demos, and I'd put them up against my driver, and they just wouldn't come close. I don't know what it is. It's like this driver's just tailor made for me. They have a hole where it's like up there where it's like a really cool hole where it kind of climbs up, and then on top there's a little standout, like a ravine in the middle. So, and it's like, I don't know, maybe 280 or something like that to the green, and the green's not that far, it's not that big, so you really gotta be accurate with it. It's stupid to go for it. You always have to, go the long way. But it's just, it's kind of perfect for my shot, so I go for it every time, and usually pans out. And I think I was with my stepdad at the time, but I went with these golf pros, the two really young golf pros, and I was just out of my world in the country club world. I'm not flash or anything. I actually, one of my favorite regulars from the country club was really well off. What the hell was his name? But he had a really beautiful daughter that everybody tried to set me up with, and she was blonde and blue-eyed, which kind of isn't my type, but she was still really beautiful. And we had a date, and I was like, I was at work. I don't know what I was wearing, but I felt like I had, change something. The guys were like, "Oh, dude, you gotta change." Nothing else was open except for fucking Walmart. So I drove over to Walmart and bought some shit, and like black shorts and like black shoes or something like that or whatever. But I came back to the country club, and the one dude was like, "You look like you're about to fucking park their boat," and all this and that. They were clowning on me, but I'm not like fashion or anything. I mean, you can dress me up and I look good, but I don't know what, I mean, my guys on the hockey team, all the young guys make fun of me because I got the like starter old guy Nikes and stuff. And but on this hole they were golfing with us. It was me, I think my stepdad, and then two of these pros. And my stepdad was kind of talking shit for me. Not talking shit, but just politely talking up, like, oh yeah, Nick can really get it, when he gets a load of it. And so like I think I let off or something like that, and I smoked it, and I put it up on the ledge, and the two pros were like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna be enough, or da 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 da, blah blah blah. Like, oh, you might got lucky, it might be up there. And then the other pro went for it and didn't, and then I think one of the other guys went for it and put it up there. And then as we're like progressing, so the other guys are shooting while me and this other guy, and the other guy's like, oh yeah, da, you might be up there, blah, blah, and I'm just kind of letting them talk. And then there's two balls up there, and one was on the front fringe, and they were like, oh, you did make it, da 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 da. And then they got up there and realized that it was the one pros. And then the one guy was like, oh yeah, you didn't make it, da da da. And then my stepdad found mine. It was on the back side of the green. So they were like, holy shit. And then they found my divot that was on the green. It was on the back of the green too. So I stuck it on the back of the green, and then it really only rolled like, another 10 feet. So it was a mouth shutting golf shot. But I can only hit this one certain driver. I don't know, it's got a super stiff shaft, for my fast swing speed. So I don't know, it's just perfect. But I bought online. I wanted to get it's a 10-degree driver, and I just hit it so far, and there's no carry after. It's all carry and no roll afterwards. So I wanted to get something, that's a lower degree, and see if I can smoke it on some of these holes where it can run. So I had a bid on a 8.5 degree driver, and I was the max bid. It was only at like 25, and I put a max bid of $70 in for it because I wanted it. And with like 2 hours left to go, the seller just canceled the auction on eBay. And I was like, I messaged him. I was like, hey, what the hell's going on? I was willing to pay, more. Like, yeah. So I don't know. So I was pissed about that. So I did see one that was a 14 degree, and I was like, ooh, from 250 to 270, I can just do a nice little easy pop shot right out there. Yes, please. So I just purchased it right away because I was still angry about the 8.5 that got away. So I think I bought this for like $60, something like that. But they ship it through UPS, and UPS has weird delivery rules. I live on my business, so they will show up and see the gate and just take off. They won't even. They're like, nope, it's a business. We won't even deliver there. So I got cool with the UPS driver, and he knows like what's up now. I told him you can throw shit over the fence, don't bring it back, but honk your horn, here's my number, here's the code, da 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 da. He's cool with me now. So they deliver. I got something very small delivered, and it was a new driver, and I was like, oh, da 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 da. Normally, the normal guy, and he's like, yeah, and just takes off. So I was like, all right, he's not as friendly. So when I got this notification for the UPS delivery for my golf club, I was like, man, if it's this other dude, he's gonna take it back and all this and that. I was like, oh man, I was like, should I wait? I was like, man, it says they give you a window for this delivery, 8:30 to 10:30, and I'm like, man, it's 9 o'clock. I was driving back up to the mountain this last time, and I was like, I needed to wait until rush hour was over, but I wanted to get there early before the sun, really started beating down on me. And, oh, get him, yeah. And I was like, man, I can't stay another hour. I'm like, fuck it, I gotta go for it. So I want to buy a gas tank before I go in to fill it up with diesel. So I run into Harbor Freight to grab a cheap gas tank. And as I'm driving up there, I see the UPS driver. I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, hey. I go, is your next stop Anytime Storage with a golf club? He goes, oh man, that's awesome. I go, yeah, isn't it? And I was like, let me go grab my ID. And he's like, can I say this without getting him? Oh, yeah, nobody from UPS is watching, but he's like, no, man, I remember from yesterday. It's all good. And he's like, boom, there you go. So I got my golf club, which, is the signal that we made it through the shit. So then that's when I went up to the hill, and like the truck did break down and everything, but we isolated it. I think it's a problem with the 4x4 pump, and I think there is probably a leak in the radiator because I'm leaking water / coolant. So hopefully they can bang that out for me tomorrow, and I can get up and move Chloe home, and then go use the rest of this weekend to go up and start digging out my home. So we made it through it. Things are looking up, and we figured out that Filmora mess. We saw the Packers win. We saw the Bears Hail Mary. I made a funny TikTok about that. This Bears Hail Mary play against the Commanders. I haven't seen something this bad in a long time. So, the Bears really didn't play good. They punched a touchdown in at the end to take the lead. And then the Commanders throw this 60-yard Hail Mary. And my buddy's like, dude, you gotta watch. One of the players is talking shit to the crowd. And I'm like, whatever. And he's like, no, it was during the play. So I go onto YouTube and pull up the play, and this dude is in the corner of the end zone barking at the fans and like straight up talking shit with a bunch of fans. And about 5 or 6 seconds into the play, because it's a long play, Jaden Daniels runs around like crazy. They only bring a 3-man rush. So he realizes that the play starts, and he runs over and he kind of stops in the middle of the end zone, because he's in the corner of the end zone at first, and he kind of stops at midfield and then runs to slap the ball away, but he tips it to the guy that catches it for the Commanders for the game-winning touchdown. And so after the game, he apologizes, for being distracted. But the big thing is, dude, you didn't knock it down. You tipped it up in the air, man. You jumped up he jumps up from the side and just puts his hand on it, kind of bats it. So then I watched the play again, and they have a linebacker who's playing spy, who doesn't rush the passer at all. I mean, when you play spy, you're trying to contain the quarterback. I mean, they couldn't have honestly thought Jaden Daniels was going to run it in from 60 yards out, because this dude doesn't cross the line of scrimmage. He straight up like vertically, like not vertically, but like plays parallel to the line of scrimmage, while 3 guys kind of run around, and they all get double teamed by offensive linemen. And just awesome work by the Bears. What else happened since the redo? What's up, baby? I love you. God damn it, you're so fucking cute. Look at your soft little paw. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Oh, you okay? I had an auction every month we have an auction for my storage units that get purchased, and there was a tenant couple who were who I'd always have to kick out for hanging out here. They would just hang out in their car. I'm sure they were probably homeless. Um, but I have multiple locations that I maintain, and they had a unit at both places, and so I would kick them out of here, and then I would drive up to the other one and kick them out of there. It would got so old, but after so the middle of the month after these auctions are completed, we would have auction buyers come in and their animals. They clear out their stuff, leave glass and nails and stuff outside the unit, and they're usually gone. So I usually have a mess to clean up with these auction buyers. So I keep an eye on them when an auction goes off. So I'm doing rounds and I see a U-Haul parked in front of the troublesome couple. And towards the back end of the troublesome couple's rental history, it was just the girl. Maybe she kicked the guy to the curb or whatever, I don't know. But after this auction went off, I'm doing my rounds and I turned the corner and there is a lady in front of the troublesome couple's unit. And it's late at night. I think I had just gotten off the mountain the first time or the second time. I'd just gotten off the mountain the second time. So I'm tired. I just showered up and I think I was gonna go grab something, and I was like, oh, I'll do a quick run through. And so I'm like, oh my god, it's not this lady. Please don't be this lady. So I have a tendency to sneak up on people. People don't hear me. So when I was walking up to the unit, I was whistling. Just nonsense, just letting them know, like, hey, I'm walking up on you. She is kind of inside the unit doing stuff, and she goes board straight when I walk around the corner. And I go, hello there. And she goes, hi. And I go, I'm the property manager here. And she goes, I know. And I go, ma'am, can you turn around? She's still in the unit, like not turning around. And I go, ma'am, can you turn around please so we can have a conversation? And she goes, I'd rather not. I'm good here. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's the old tenant. So I snake my way through her shit, and she's still standing like this. I come around up on the side, and I go, Jesus Christ, I was hoping it wasn't you. And she's still not moving. And I go, it's fine, you can move now. We're about to have a conversation, don't make this uncomfortable. And she kind of turns back to me, and so I'm like, did you buy this legally, or did you sneak in here and cut the lock? And she's like, no, my friend bought the unit, da 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 da. And I go, well, here's the deal, obviously when you owe $1,000 in fees for 2 units, and you can go on to your, an auction site and buy them for super cheap. That's getting by the rules. The way that we enforce that or keep that from happening is because you owe us money, you cannot be on the property at all. So even if your friend did buy this as an auction unit, you are still trespassing. And now because I know that, your buddy did this for you, we may blackball him as an auction buyer, But I said, look, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm fucking tired. The last thing that I want to do is call the cops or do whatever, or, so make me a promise. You clear out both units that you bought. Get the hell out of here. You won't be able to rent from us again. The buyer should be fine. That's going to be up to, my supervisors if you guys leave a mess. If you clear out these units and don't leave anything, make sure they're swept out and you're gone within 48 hours, then
Wanna get up there, baby? Come on.
there you go, big boy. Then no big deal. Who cares? So, and they did. They got the stuff out. But I thought that was funny, man. When I first got my car, I drove Crown Vic, and that's what would be funny if I ended up buying another Crown Vic, is because I would have come full circle. Because I back in the day I bought my first Crown Vic, and I got addicted to them. I think I've had 8. It's not that many. Maybe 5 or 6 Crown Vics. But when I had my last Crown Vic and took over this job, storage facilities sometimes house, yes, oh my god, oh, you're a vicious pit bull. Oh, you're the worst, most ferocious animal. When I had, typically the storage facilities, they can have managers that look the other way for homeless, bang joints, bike thieves typically use self-storage units because they can do their work in there and stuff real quick. But meth addicts will try to cook out of there, which is crazy, man. I can't imagine cooking inside of a enclosed area like that, dude. You gotta have ventilation. But it's I've busted a couple of different guys trying to stay in the units. I've gotten feelings for a couple of people right away and told them, like, hey, if that's what you're gonna do, like, I'm gonna bust you out of here before the weekends. Like, I'm a Nazi and I watch stuff, so you're not gonna get away with it. I've had people knocking on my door, and they look, hey, little iffy. They're like, oh, George isn't working here anymore? I go, no, he's unfortunately he's passed away, I heard, but no, he doesn't work here anymore. Oh, well, he had a real good heart, man, and he was such a good guy and everything, he would kind of let us hang out in the. I go, nope, not, you can't live in the units anymore. If that's what you're getting to. Okay, yeah, so he's not here anymore. Okay, you have a good day, and then they take off. Storage units sometimes have, and especially where I'm at, is it's kind of all white trash. And there's a huge drug problem, and I'm right on Meth Alley, so I'm always booting out meth heads. So I would drive around in my Crown Vic, and my properties, usually properties you can drive around them, and then there's alleys where the storage units are. And I would drive up and down my alley, and sometimes when I first took over, I would drive around in my Crown Vic, which was a beat to shit cop car, but it still looked like a cop car. And I would see, every once in a while, I would see people in their unit like this, and then they would see me and they'd straightboard it and not move. Super cool. And so by the time I would loop around the other side, they'd be gone. Once I was driving up, there's a gravel shoulder of the highway that I drive up to get into one of my properties, and there was this poor kid walking, and he was vaping, and he was probably vaping the good stuff, and I kind of drove up behind him, and when he heard the gravel crunkle, he looked over his shoulder and saw that it was a cop car, and he straight boarded it. It's fucking, so could be back in the Crown Vic again. But that was a redo. Did we? I tried to. Oh, something very, very important that got me through the back end of the shitstorm was that I found a store that sells lemon lime Kool-Aid. Bing, bing. Thanks for watching. Do all that like and subscribe stuff, or share also, because I'm gonna have a big announcement coming out that will affect you and all of your loved ones. So you must listen closely and subscribe, or risk missing it. Peace out.